Rock and roll. Woo! Rock and roll. It's September 16th, 2015, and this is your Fortean Slip news. Rock and roll.
From thedailycaller.com, Colorado has just become the first state in history to collect more taxes from marijuana than alcohol. No state has ever generated more tax revenue from marijuana than alcohol until now. The Colorado Department of Revenue, according to recently released figures, just brought in, get this, Chris, $70 million in taxes.
Yeah, that's right, people. Eat that fucking number.
Yeah, relating to marijuana compared to less than $42 million.
Somebody send that fucking memo to Chris Christie, that fat fuck.
Anyway, and that's over the course of 1 year. So $70 million in taxes for marijuana, only $42 million in taxes for alcohol. This Wednesday, Colorado that's today, is declaring a marijuana tax holiday. Holy fuck! You can get tax-free marijuana today. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Meaning that for a single day, taxes on marijuana items will be suspended. Marijuana taxes have been incredibly productive over the past year, so this tax holiday is a much-deserved day off. Mason Tevert, Director of Communications for the Marijuana
Steve, I'm going to celebrate with him right now.
This will... This will be the one day out of the year when the state won't generate significant revenue over the other 364 days. It will bring in tens of millions of dollars that will be reinvested in our state. Pretty cool. Marijuana tax-free day. You gotta love that.
You do have to love that. And they figured out how to make fucking THC out of yeast. I did that story last night with Skyla.
Nice.
Yeah.
Out of yeast?
Yeast.
Wow. I have never heard of that. Plymouth Herald. In a related story, I should say, from the plymouthherald.co.uk. There's a ghost town, I can't speak today, Chris. Abandoned
today
by everyone. Yeah. But drug dealers. Welcome to Plymouth, a ghost town where crooks have started growing marijuana. Crops of marijuana even. West Country sailors have glimpsed the devastation on this faraway Plymouth, which is thousands of miles from Devon. The city's namesake, capital of the Caribbean island of Montserrat, was abandoned following a series of volcanic eruptions in the 1990s. The southern part of the island was also evacuated and a new capital set up. Sailors and aircrew from the Royal Fleet Auxiliary Lyme Base saw how the British Overseas Territory is faring now on a visit as part of a deployment to the Caribbean. The ship's Lynx helicopter from 815 Naval Air Squadron, based at RNAS Yeovilton, I don't know, surveyed Montserrat, taking in Plymouth, which was buried under 4 feet of volcanic ash. The aircraft discovered 3 marijuana sites in the abandoned area. The details were given to the Royal Montserrat Police. Members of the crew took part in an exercise.
Those nosy busybodies.
Yeah, of course. Members of the crew took part in an exercise to test.
Somebody should send them that memo about fucking Colorado too.
They wanted to test storm damage readiness. They pitched in on some community projects, and they played football against an island side during the 3-day visit. Yeah, that's what they do, I guess. The governor of Montserrat, Elizabeth Carrier, I think I even got that one right, said, "We'd love to see Lyme back socially, but hope we don't have to call on the ship's outstanding assistance." The ship is on a 6-month mission to provide assistance in the region during the hurricane season.
To go
the rest,
where
there's no more mention
ever gone in the sea.
There's no more mention of marijuana. I wonder why in that story. They talk about, see, that's what got me about that story, and that's why I said it to you before we did the news. That the head lead line in the story is they found this marijuana, but then they don't say anything about it. It's Whatever.
They're afraid of it, Steve.
In another related story
It's the
from
Men in Black, Steve.
Tron.com, Bigfoot hunters hampering search for suspects in $6.5 million Texas, you guessed it, marijuana farm bust. TPWD game.
I'm recognizing a pattern, Steve.
Just a slight pattern. TPWD, I'm assuming that means Texas something or other, WD. Game wardens removed more than $6 million worth of marijuana plants from state park land over the weekend. Polk County authorities uncovered another massive marijuana farm in their jurisdiction, this one containing roughly 9,600 plants, according to the Montgomery County Police Reporter.
Weed doggy.
TPWD, game wardens removed more than $6 million. I think I already read that line. Texas game wardens and a local law enforcement busted $6.5 million marijuana growing operation in Delta County, northeast of Dallas this weekend. According to Texas Parks and Wildlife, Delta County deputies and game wardens recovered approximately 6,550 marijuana plants, some as tall as 10 feet, from a 1-acre section of the Cooper Wildlife Management Area on Saturday. This was not someone playing around and experimenting, said Texas Game. Really? Duh. Said
no,
Texas
this is
Game
what's
Warden.
called an operation.
Yes. Game Warden Captain Stephen Stapleton. The camp was at least a mile from any road in some harsh conditions. They picked this spot on purpose and spent day and night out there for some time. There was a lot of trash to clean up. Authorities were alerted to the site near the Sulphur River after hog hunters spotted the growers' campsite. An overnight hunt by game wardens for suspects was hampered by Bigfoot hunters, hoping to find the elusive Sasquatch, KETR reports.
Those idiots.
They're looking for Sasquatch, and they're passing up the good shit right there. Fucking marijuana farm, and you are looking for Bigfoot. Something wrong with that. I'm sorry. Well, maybe they partook in both. You think?
Steve. Son, you can't just pick off a marijuana plant and start fucking smoking away. You gotta let that shit dry. You gotta let that shit cure. I lost Steve. Ladies and gentlemen, due to technical difficulties, tonight the news will be finished by Mick West.